This Capricorn full moon that's at 1 degree of Capricorn is the start of a deeply transformative process in how we process energy. Emotionally, in our life, things are going to start to be flipping around. And this is going to be happening between this full moon Capricorn and the next full moon in Capricorn that's just 28 days away from 1 degree to 29 degrees. And we're going to have a Cancer new moon in the middle with a lot of stuff going on in between there. But this is really a deep shift, fundamental change in how we're going to be perceiving and processing energy. We're going to talk about all of that here in a little bit. Come join me. Let's go get it. What's up, everybody? My name is Nam, and I'm going to be doing the full moon in Capricorn reading here. If you guys resonate with this, please like, share, and subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. And if you would like to look into more of all the different beautiful healing modalities that I do and work with, go check out my website, optimizinghuman.com. Links are down below. Let's get to it. We're finally having a 1 degree full moon that we haven't had in a very, very long time. From last November to this April of 2024, we had 5 new moons happen at the very end of signs. And even before that, for about 6-7 months before that, we had the full moons were at a later degree than the new moons were, right? So new moons are new beginnings, full moons are endings in an overly simplistic manner. But with that being said, there's been this way that we've been processing energy of clearing out, of really going within first, right? Even when something's ending, we're going over it over and over again, or we're experiencing it internally. Even while all the external things are going on out in the world, like we saw right around 2020, 2021, 2022, all that craziness, that was going on in the outside world, right? And we went interior about 1.5 years ago. Now, this full moon is going to start the process of bringing the energy exterior again. And that is really exciting because we've been doing a lot of inner work. A lot of things have been really hypersensitizing us, a lot of ascension symptoms, a lot of activations, a lot of spiritual growth and awakening within. And because Capricorn is this last energy that Pluto's working with, right? Pluto is going to be at 1 degree here for this full moon. It's coming back into 29 degrees, but this is preparing us to be able to step into this new world. Because once Pluto comes out of Capricorn for good, it's gone for the next 248 years. We have finished that cycle. And this is really setting us, we're kind of, if we're playing baseball, we'd be going up to bat right now, right? And then, of course, September to November is going up to bat and taking our shot. But we need to prepare spiritually, energetically for everything that's coming. So the way that we're going to be processing, and this is not something that you have to try to do. This is just something that's going to sort of happen naturally. And starting at the very beginning and then having a second full moon at 29 degrees that's going to conjunct Pluto, we're really bringing up and right to our face all the deepest truths that have to do with the Capricorn vibration, the structures of our lives, systems that we've built that may no longer be working, right? Really, anything that's been service to self is coming up to be looked at. And we're realizing the humanity in what everything needs in order for us to do our part in regard to making the world a better place, right? Our more humanitarian efforts are coming in with this rise of this Aquarian energy now. It's not just humanitarian efforts that are coming into play. There's a lot about technology here too. There's a lot about control dynamics, or like the losing of control, as we're seeing all these power dynamics are dying off, and they're doing everything they possibly can to try to hold on to it. And in between this full moon and the next full moon, which is on July 21st, actually almost exactly a month apart, we're going to be having Mars, which is a ruler of Aries, which is where the North Node is, right? This is where we're growing and shifting in our identity and understanding, like taking on this new version of us, but it's square over to the Capricorn and Cancer energy. So we're coming into this Cancer time, this solstice energy, where we really feel like we're kind of coming into the next layer of, it's almost like we're coming into a new board game, and we're needing to learn all these new ways that these new systems have to be put in place, because things are growing and evolving so fast, right? And this is really getting starting the process for the next, June, the end of June, the end of July, the end of August, the end of September is really the time frame that we're looking at for all this stuff to really fully come into a committed relationship with the new version of ourselves. Like part of ourselves have grown into this new version, and other parts of ourselves are still waiting to get up on deck to be purified and cleansed. Right now, this doesn't purification and cleansing doesn't have to be, a bad thing, although it can kind of suck sometimes when we're not allowing ourselves to surrender and be open to the changes. And with Mars here, that's in Taurus. Mars doesn't like being in Taurus. It's in detriment here, right? It's slow. It wants to get up and move, but the Taurus energy is kind of making it so like, all right, you got to slow down. You have to be more methodical. You have to really look at all the details. Where Mars is just like, no, I want to go do it now, right? And with Mars coming up to Uranus, there's a new shock and awe energy that's coming up into our awareness, and this can be very passionate, but it can really blast out, not just within ourselves, but on the world stage, all the anger vibration, all the hopelessness, all the frustrations, all the irritability, because it's conjuncting right on top of Algol. And this is where, especially with Neptune being at 29 degrees, which is about to go retrograde, and Saturn also beginning to go retrograde, this is where the karmic lessons from the last 6 months, in particular, from those energies, are going to be coming up. And we have Pluto that is sextile over to Neptune, so which is a good sign, right? But it also can make things like if we're delusional, or if we are escaping from our responsibilities, it's going to hit harder and harder and harder until it's either going to create dis-ease in the body, or it's going to just knock you out. You're not going to be able to function, right? Especially if you're going down a false path of your life. There's been a lot of deliberations of where is my place and my purpose, because the old pieces are sort of being cleared away. We have to be careful not to be attached to the pieces that are falling away. And this energy is going to be showing us where are the attachments, and it's going to push our soul to the brink if we're not getting it, right? So this is where it's really grounding us into this energy, and like almost like a drill sergeant in the mind, like, all right, you have to pay attention. You must see this. Now it is time to really act upon this. So that means that things that are not really good for you or for your highest and best good are going to become very obvious. And it's going to be your responsibility to yourself to be able to face that, because things are getting called out all over the place, if you notice, right? So if you're getting called out for things, or if things are going in the opposite direction than what you're trying to do, maybe you're trying to do something that is not for your best interest or for the best interest of others, that vibration is becoming the more dominant dimension or vibration, dimensional vibration, dimension. Yeah, I guess that works. And with that, this is where Pluto is coming into its new world. This is where it's bringing us into this new world of we're being led by our hearts, and we're no longer be led with our minds. And if we have and we have to find that mind heart coherence, and that's what this full moon is kicking off, the final stage of opening up to that mind heart coherence. And things are going to start falling away, things are going to start lining up. And it may be in ways that you don't expect. It may be in ways that surprise you. And you may get angry, or you may really feel these attachments, like, it can have a slew of different responses that seem to be a bit reactive, as opposed to smooth and mapped out. That is the Mars conjunct Uranus on Algol energy. We're going to feel it in our physical body. Okay, so it's going to be very important to be aware, to be mindful of everything that you're doing, and about things that light you up, that make you feel like you're doing something good. Those things are the things that you need to go towards. And you may get to a point where you just literally physically can't do things that, and maybe it's frustrating because you feel like, you still got to pay bills, still got to live in this matrix world. But remember, you are protected, particularly if you believe that you're protected. I know I believe I have spiritual protection, and it's people that have been through it, that have gone to those deep places within themselves, that understand these things and see how even in the worst possible spaces in your life, you have been held, you have been the universe doesn't give you more than you can handle, although your ego might think otherwise, but your soul can handle it. And you just have to remember that, because we can be our own worst enemies right now, and we don't want to do that. Okay, there's a lot of potential for massive growth and evolution in our life path right now, and we want to be able to take advantage of that and be the healthiest, most present, whole person that we can be. And with Saturn, Saturn is at the degree that it's going to go retrograde right here. In fact, I think it goes retrograde in about 7-8 days. All right, and then Neptune goes retrograde the first couple of days of July. So both those energies are incredibly potent right now, and Saturn especially, it's the Lord of karma. Now, karma is not a good or bad thing. You can't. It's simply a mirror, right? So once it goes retrograde, we're coming into a 4-month period of time where we're going to have a mirror of the decisions we made for the last 6 months. Were they the right ones? Were they not the right ones? Where do we need to course correct? This is going to be a starting point for course correction in the foundations of our lives. And I know for me, I don't know, please tell me if you have had this, but I've been getting opportunities here and there to start new things. I'm still doing old things, in order to be able to make ends meet, but it's just not really doing it for me anymore. I feel like I'm not very passionate about it. It's very hard for me to generate energy and things that I don't want to do, but I feel like I have to do in order to be able to, keep making ends meet. But really, this is more about a perception shift to stop trying to feed that energetically. Not it's and the side effect or the latter effect is the physical tiredness, or is the whatever other issues you may be having. So what energetically are you trying to do that's not right for you? And now we're also in Cancer season 2, which is super emotional. Not only that, but Jupiter is now in Gemini, which is super mental. So everything is just cranked up on high, and Mars conjuncting over to Uranus the second week of July, I believe. That's going to be the ping. That's going to be like the real hitting that mountaintop, energetically speaking, for self-inflicted pain, or for frustration or irritability, but also passion and having the energy, fire lit under your ass to make whatever need to happen. You just have to be in alignment with where that energy is naturally being directed and flowing. Okay. On top of that, we have Chiron here, conjunct Eris and Hygeia. Now, Hygeia is healing, right? We're all doing some deep healing through our social identity and through our understanding of what we really want to be known for. What do we want our legacy to be in regards to how we participate in society, or even what kind of society we want to create, because we are the creators of our reality, and our reality is changing big time. And it's the universe saying, God is saying, we need to step up to be able to create that which we want to see, because as a collective, we have allowed lies and corruption to just plague and take over the systems that are in place. So this is where we need to step up. We need to go into these systems, and we need to create new ones. And the right people are coming around if you are in your highest vibrational position for what you want to create. If you don't know what you want to create, then let's do a reading, and I can help you identify that. Or if you feel confused or lost, a lot of people right now, like, because people are awakening so fast with the sheer speed of this energy, it's incredibly disorienting, especially with this 29-degree energy with Neptune here and Pluto here. The energy can be very like hit out of nowhere. I kind of feel for the people that are just starting to wake up now, because you guys have to process like stuff that I processed in 5 years, you're processing in 5 days. And that's just a massive amount of work for your energetic body to be able to come online. And depending on what medications you're on, what your lifestyle you're with, if you drink alcohol, or if you have whatever bad habits you might have, all those things are keeping you from being healthy enough for the Kundalini energy to shoot through your body to be able to become online and reach that higher understanding of who you're meant to be. Really, the more toxins that we have emotionally, spiritually, and physically, the more we're going to be blocked. But those blockages are also at the same time becoming easier and easier and bigger ways to fall off and to clear out. All right. So just watch for the busyness of the mind. We do technically have a yod here. Now, yod is known as the finger of God. And when I see this, with a full or a new moon or some significant astrological aspect, this is a collective wake up call, really, and it's pointing towards a full moon. So because we're starting a cycle with this full moon at 1 degrees, and there's now the yod is coming from white moon Selena to the moon over to Vesta in Leo. Now, and it's all at 0 and 1 degrees. So 0 degrees is like the void space. And white moon Selena, well, that's just good luck. That's spiritual protection. The moon in Capricorn, of course, the moon is in detriment Capricorn. So where are you too stubborn? Where do you get in your own way? Where has that blockage been? That one spot or one place in your life or in your consciousness that has been your blind spot that you haven't been able to see, that's been keeping you from them going into this new place in your life. That's what this is going to uproot. And it may be pretty intense around the full moon, but it's going to start the uprooting process throughout the month into the next, and it'll finalize at the next full moon at 29 degrees when it's conjunct Pluto. And the sun is, of course, opposed to Pluto. That's a whole lot of Plutonian energy, and it's going to be at 0 degrees at that time, which is also the 0 void space, right? So this is a zeroing out, like a hard reset to a certain layer and level of our consciousness. And with that hard resetting, hard layering, it's going to bring into, we're all stepping in collectively to a deeper level of our awareness. And we get to choose. We have the joystick right now of what we want, what habits we want to bring into this new version of reality that we're going to be creating. We're going to be very aware, or have the ability to be very aware. Now, if we're escaping, or if we're not, or if we're avoiding the present moment and we're avoiding all this emotional stuff, because don't get it twisted, it's going to be emotional as hell. Okay, Venus is going to be in Cancer. Mercury is speeding through Cancer as well. We have Uranus at a space that it's never been before. Chiron is now at the 23rd degree, and going further into the last decan. We're mastering a lot of these energies as a collective, and we're also, don't forget, we just went into the United States' Chiron return just about 9 months ago. Okay, so we're in a Pluto return, a Chiron return. We're going to be going into a Uranus return next year. This is a lot of birthing energies with a lot of death and rebirth. So also the energy of death is also very, very prominent. Not necessarily physical death, but death of belief systems, death of ideologies, death to systems and structures and foundations, death to concepts, or death to limitations, even, because we're moving from, now, like, aliens are being a big thing, and spaceships and all this technology. We're going to be able to fly pretty soon, and now we can reconnect spinal cords through technology. AI has already freaking taken over, right? So we have to learn to adapt to this new growth and this cosmic consciousness mindset. And to be able to do that, we have to be very well centered and very clear about who we are. And that's what the North Node in Chiron is teaching us about. What deep down, who are we in relationship to society? Who are we, like, who have we been? And who do we really feel like we are now? And where were we not being authentic? Where were we not being authentic that's where Saturn comes into play. And that's what Saturn's going to be teaching us here over the next 4 months. So really, we can look, and I'm going to do a second half of 2024 reading, so we can really dig deeper into understanding what we can look at for the rest of the year. And then, of course, going into 2025, which is going to be the really big, massive, speeding up even more new start that's going to take us all by storm. And that's when we need to have the right people, the right situations and systems finally set and put into place and ready to go for this new life. Okay, so I hope that this reading has given you some clarity. If it's given you questions, or if you have anything that you want to add or ask me about, go ahead and put it in the comment section below. You can also message me on my website, or you can email me at nam@optimizinghuman.com. Thank you so very much for your time. And until the next video, I'll see you then. Have a beautiful full moon at 1 degree of Capricorn. Aho.